Men tend to fall in love with the person that we believe you are. And I think because women are prudent and wise, and they know they have to be careful in the beginning of getting to know any person of interest, they never really fully open themselves up because they don't want to get fully invested in someone that's not going to stick around. This clash of truths, I think, is one of the most unspoken reasons why men and women have probably the most complications out of all the different combinations of sexual interactions or choices that can be made when it comes to long-term relationships. And I wanted to shed light on this one because no one's really at fault. It's just a lack of understanding how the other side operates. And I feel really mainly one of the main reasons why man and woman relationships are having such a problem with being established that are long lasting is because we just don't understand the opposite sex very well. You know, people go to college, they'll go to college for 4 years to learn how to be a doctor, but ultimately want to get married, but never spend any time reading a book or getting educated about the opposite sex that they're going to marry. When ultimately that degree is going to be important, but the marriage is going to be for life, so called. And as written in the scripture, our people perish for lack of knowledge. So, ladies, queens, hear me out on this one. Open your heart, open your mind, and understand this is just food for thought based on a reality that it's very easy to understand if you just listen to where exactly I'm coming from. Because when I say a man falls in love with who he believes you are, I'm talking about when he first meets you, when he's first getting to know you, he's courting you, asking you questions, flirting, trying to get to know who you are. We're thinking you're showing yourself. And the best way to use an analogy to relate this is kind of like when you're going for a job opportunity. The only thing you really get to know about the job is the requirements that they list and what the people in the interview say about the job. But all of us, if you're working in the workforce for more than 10 years, you know for a fact, no matter what the job requirements are in the jump in the beginning, they always either increase or get modified as time goes by. It's almost very unnatural to find a job opportunity that literally stayed the same from the jump all the way up until years on in. And just like when you get a job and you think you're going to be doing certain things, and then maybe one of your people get fired, and then instead of hiring somebody else, they add all the job responsibilities onto you, and things change. The pressure changes. The way that things are going at that job changes. It makes you think about decisions. Like, wait a minute, do I really want to stick to this? Like, I don't know. This is not exactly what I signed up for. And just like jobs, people leave because they thought that the job was going to be one thing, but as time went by, maybe years went by, the whole thing switched up, and it was no longer anywhere near what was enjoyed in the beginning. You have to consider that men sometimes think that way. When they're pursuing you, they're thinking that you're showing them who you are, and they fall in love with the person that you present. So as time goes by and the person that you really are is starting to be revealed and opened up because you're becoming more vulnerable, you're opening yourself up because you see this person is going to stick around, then you're starting to reveal yourself. But depending on the degree in which you're revealing yourself, it's almost like the man is dealing with a whole nother person. You're not seeing it this way because you were being cautious and trying to make sure not to run them away. The double-edged sword is that cautiousness in the beginning, not showing your genuine, authentic self and being open, being whatever quirks you got, showing those quirks. You know, if you're not really that sexual, but in the beginning, maybe you act like you are because they're flirting with you so well, and you're really just giving into the flirting because women love to flirt. You may not be anywhere near sexual, but you like to flirt, and maybe the sex game was right. So maybe that person elevated your sex game, but you really weren't a sexual person. And as years went by, that truth started to leak out. The man is not comprehending these little nooks and crannies about you unless you have taken the time to break that down. I think one of the best things women can do with a man is reveal to them how they open themselves up. So from the beginning, if a man is not getting all of who your personality is, you're telling them that you take time to unfold. You're like a flower that got to blossom. So he has an understanding in the very beginning that you're going to blossom. You're going to, because we kind of need to know what we're dealing with, especially if a man has options. If he's valuable and has options, they're quicker to bounce. They're quicker to go outside. They're quicker to have more than one woman because they got options. When you got value, you got options. Just like a beautiful woman, you got options. Especially if you're on your game and you're looking fly all the time, you got options. And options isn't always such a phenomenal thing. But as my grandmother always say, nobody wants somebody that nobody else wants. At first, when I heard that, I thought that was crazy. But if you had somebody that belonged to you and nobody else thought they were attractive, like 0 people thought they were attractive, it might fuck with you a little bit. So I implore you, if you're not the type to open up in the beginning and show your true authentic self because you're worried about scaring the man off, you're better off scaring their ass off and letting them not waste your time. And you waiting and keeps revealing yourself to people to see who can handle all of you, no matter how long it takes. Date you until you meet somebody that can handle all of you. So as time goes by and you both are evolving, you both are growing, you both are changing because we're humans. We're created to evolve. You got somebody that has the dexterity, that has the stickability to deal with who you are. But when you don't reveal yourself like that until months and years on then, and you think the man is like jacked up for the way he's switching up, I can assure you, in his mind, you're the one that switched up because he thought you were one thing and you really weren't. That is so important, especially the men that don't have men in the house when they're growing up and they don't have a man around to tell them that women possibly do this. When a man does not get taught things by another man, we are so blind to a lot of things. It's unbelievable how many things not having a male figure in the household can handicap us. Some of us are able to learn what we weren't taught, but not many of us are. So I want to put this information in your hands. As a chocolate maverick, this is just food for thought. But I feel like if you think about what I'm saying, you'll feel it as heart truth. Not maybe truth up here, but you'll feel it as heart truth. And you may go back into your relationships and see when things maybe started to change. Where you're starting to get more giddy, where you're starting to get more lovey-dovey, where you're starting to get more talkative and open about your business as the months pass by. And you start to recognize he can't handle conversations for long and he can't handle your extra lovey-doveyness because he just didn't know that that's how you were. So it's throwing him off and he's probably not able to get used to the different changes. Or are you more verbally aggressive as the time goes by? Are you more loose-lipped? You're getting a little bit slick with the tongue, trying to challenge and test the man. I really don't understand why women or men test each other because it's just never a good thing. But I guess to a certain degree we have to do this within our own minds for whatever reason. I guess even me, I did it myself at some point, so I get it. But I just wanted to reveal to you, if you can, know yourself first and foremost, develop self-awareness before you really get yourself into these deep relationships. Because if you can't relay who you are and you want to get into a serious relationship, you want to get married, and then so many things change once you get married because you are now ready to show all of you. It don't work like that with men. You got to show all of you as quick as possible, and if they run, let them run. That means they can't handle it. Be mindful of the fact that you're dealing with a human being. We are fickle creatures, and we're built for judgment. We need to understand what's happening. And as a man, we have pressures that, just like as a woman, the other sex does not understand. You know what I mean? Women want us to be committed. Our boys want us to be hoes. You know what I mean? It's so many clashing truths that if we sat down and talked to each other about these truths, we will all understand each other better. So please keep this in mind. Men fall in love with who they believe you to be. So if you can't be the person that you are with that person, you need to consider not having a relationship with them or keep it casual. Sorry, I got a call at the worst time. Or just keep it casual. Keep it 100. But that's why sometimes it seems like the relationship changes so much. I did my best to explain that in a way that wasn't overly aggressive. Hope you feel the vibe, and I hope above all you possibly see how this can make sense. Peace and love from the Chocolate Mountain.